Okay, let's dive in. We're looking at a review, a classic Grateful Dead show today.
That's right. This comes from GratefulDeadBook.com, their series On This Day in Grateful Dead History. Good stuff there.
Yeah, and our goal here is really just to get the feel, the vibe of this specific show, Hartford Civic Center, May 28th, 1977.
Without needing the full, 3-4 hours right now?
Exactly. Just the highlights, the essence of why people talk about this one.
And if this does make you want to hear more, remember, the listening guides for This Week in Grateful Dead History are linked in the bio. Worth checking out.
Definitely. So Hartford 77, the review jumps right in, calls it pure magic. Absolutely outstanding. Sounds promising.
It sounds like they came out swinging. The first set, the review says, immediately set the tone for something special. No messing around.
Yeah, it mentions this, explosion right at the start. A charged Bertha going into Good Lovin' and then straight into Sugary.
Whoa, that's quite the opening punch.
Right. And that Sugary seems to be a real centerpiece, described as outstanding, over 20 minutes long.
Quantum miss.
And they call it an undeniable jam anthem version. That's pretty high praise.
So what makes this Sugary an anthem? Is it just the length or?
Well, the review gets into it. It mentions Keith having this longer than usual lead, kind of setting the stage. And then Jerry swooping in. The first jam hits this really exhilarating high.
Okay, big peak.
But then there's apparently a whole second jam within it.
Wow, okay. And what's that like?
Described as having smooth, bluesy elegance, becoming utterly mesmerizing. So it sounds like it explored different moods, not just one thing.
That makes sense. It earns the anthem tag by really exploring the song's potential, yeah.
So after that, the rest of the first set, how do you follow that?
Apparently they did. The review says flawless, just moment after moment of tight execution.
And they finished strong, too.
Yeah, closed with Promised Land, bringing the same energy as that Birth opener. Just full throttle, start to finish for set one.
You can feel that energy carrying over. The review mentions the band was totally locked in going into the second set.
Kicked it off with Samson and Delilah, which it says roared to life.
Nice.
Then a shift with Tennessee Jed. Jerry apparently methodically climbing through it, hitting these really emphatic closing strums, very deliberate.
Okay, focus. And from there, estimated profit, right. Getting into darker territory.
Yeah, stretching into dark, mysterious territory. The review actually says it's one of my absolute favorite versions.
High praise again. What makes it a favorite, do they say?
It sounds like they really push the experimental side, the atmospheric qualities, that eerie wandering stuff the Dead did so well.
Which then bled into playing in the band, more deep space.
Exactly. The review uses that phrase, deep space, another eerie wandering jam.
But then they managed to pull it back. How do you get from Deep Space Jam to something like Terrapin Station?
That's the magic, isn't it? The review says they found their way to a grand, polished Terrapin Station, playing it with full confidence, like they knew exactly where they were going.
Impressive. And then not fade away, just sort of appears.
Materialized is the word used. A classic 1977 rendition. Slow tempo, but packed with endless fire.
And it had distinct jam sections, too.
Yeah, a joyful release in the first part, and then getting more bluesy and stretchy in the second jam.
Okay, but the transition out of NFA sounds key here, into Wharf Rat.
Oh yeah, the review highlights this specifically, calls it one of the smoothest, most gradual segues of the late 70s.
Smooth and gradual. How did they describe that happening?
It mentions Phil's bass taking on this marching urgency, kind of shifting the whole feel very subtly.
Phil subtly changing the direction.
Right. Before Jerry then leads back into a jam, but it's already hinting.
At the playing in the band reprise.
Exactly. And the crowd was apparently clued in. The review says they already knew, they were clapping in anticipation.
That's amazing when the band and audience are that connected.
Totally. Jerry confirms it. Donna adds her signature wail. And bang, they landed the final. Playing seamlessly. Just stuck the landing.
What a ride that second set must have been.
For sure. And they didn't just fizzle out. Closed the whole thing with a fired up One More Saturday Night.
A perfect exclamation point. Yeah, that sounds right.
So you piece together these moments, the huge Sugary, that dark estimated, the NFA Wharf Rat perfection, the crowd calling the reprise. You really get why this Hartford show is legendary.
Yeah, even just hearing about these specific parts from the GratefulDeadBook.com review gives you a sense of it. The flow, the peaks, the interaction, it feels special.
It really does. It shows how it's more than songs. It's an experience unfolding. And again, check the link in the bio for those This Week in Grateful Dead history guides if you want more.
So final thought to leave you with. Isn't it interesting how just words like describing a jam's length or a segue's feel or even the crowd's reaction can actually capture some of that live show energy, even without hearing a note.